feel good and you look good, then by God, you win.
Yeah,
and that's what we do in the swamp from now on.
That's what from now on. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see him again in 2029, and I'll look just like this.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We can just get right after it because this is Hello Toledo Podcast, episode 14.1. I'm Brian. That's Chris. We are here to talk about college football, and if you don't know that already, then what you've been watching. We're the preeminent leaders in college football podcasts in general. So, bookmark us, look for us on your favorite Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, clips, whatever your favorite is. Just download it. Tell a friend. We talk college football, and this is what we do, and this is what we'll do year round to some degree. So, we're going to jump right after it. And do you want to lead with your Vols?
Of course I do.
Okay, I didn't know if we needed to save the best for last or
no. Two reasons. One, I can't wait to talk about it. Two, this jacket's burning me the hell up. If you can't see, it is a fur coat. This is courtesy of Day at work. I appreciate him. Shout out to him for providing this. He's provided this jacket for me a number of times to wear on previous shows we were on and things like that.
Sure.
And every time I brought it home, it never worked out for me to actually wear it. So I didn't ask a thing this weekend. Let's just see what happens. Of course, UT wins big in the swamp. Today I'm like, hey, you got the coat? He's like, you damn right I got the coat. Here you go.
I say, did you text him at like 10:05 p.m. on Saturday?
I skipped his morning. As soon as I see him, he's like, hey, you know what I need, right? And he's like, I got it in the trunk. So I grabbed it, and yep.
He prepared for this. Okay, well, let's get into this game. Let's look at the stats because they are, depending if you're a Tennessee fan or a Florida fan, I'd say hilarious. I'm going to just set the stage, and then you can talk about the game. Tennessee just says, we're going to come out fast, and we're going to put belt to ass immediately. And they're up 31-0 at halftime. And Florida looked like they just were looking around like, what's going on? Are we supposed to play the game? It's supposed to start already? Well, Tennessee's about 10 steps ahead. They've been playing a quarter or two, and Tennessee, does nothing in the second half, but they didn't need to. They didn't have to at all. The only thing Florida did was kick a sad field goal so they can continue their not been shut out streak since 1988 or whatever it is, which is pretty impressive, by the way. Tennessee runs for 250 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Joey Swagular, 17-22, 204, 1 touchdown. Really just managed the game, took care of the ball. And, you can go back further than this. Tennessee didn't win by 3 touchdowns in 2003. I don't gather.
No,
2. Sorry. When's the last time they're asked like this? Have they ever won by 3 scores in the swamp?
Oh no, not that. I mean, not since I've been alive.
Sure.
I've never seen it. They dominated the ground game in 01, but Florida was elite in 01. And so, Tennessee had some turnovers in that game and kept it close. Wound up having to, defend a 2-point conversion to keep the game from going to overtime. So, but they were fantastic that night. 03 was just that was not a very good Florida team, and it was an okay Tennessee team. And that was a 12 o'clock noon kickoff, and defense dominated the day that day. They only scored 10 points. It was 24-10 is what that was in 03.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only other time I can remember them winning. Well, that's the only time they've won by multiple scores in the swamp that I remember. I'm sure maybe it happened well before this really became a hot rivalry.
Right, sure. Well, Tennessee was excellent on 3rd down, 9 of 13, 1 for 1 on 4th down. They held Florida to 2 of 9 on 3rd down, over 1 on 1st down. And Florida had 260 total yards, but how many of those were who cares yards after Tennessee is just like trying to coast in that 4th quarter? Florida gets a touchdown late to kind of a nice route to Baugh that the safety had bid on. And, but otherwise that was the highlight for Florida. And by then it was game over and it meant nothing. What did Tennessee do differently this year that they've struggled to take care of Florida, whether it's in Knoxville or Gainesville?
Well, the main thing I think that happened is they got breaks. In this game, it seems like in history they never got breaks, and so the one that kind of set the tone for the game was you get the ball, you drive down, you score 75 yards, put in the end zone. Florida gets the ball, it's third down, whatever. They throw a ball to Jaden Ball, who makes a couple people miss. He goes for 40 yards. Now you're set up on the Tennessee 37 on your first drive if you're Florida, but a holding penalty, which was a legit holding penalty. He pulled the guy straight down. It was clearly a hold, but they did it, and just a not a winning football play. And that's kind of been Florida football year. They're not very good, right? So they're 3-7, 3-8 now. But that kind of set the tone. They get pushed back, and then they run, and then they go for they throw a swing pass, something like that. Tennessee gets it stopped, gets the ball back, another drive, and in the end zone. Now before you know it, it's 14-0, and Florida is just like, well, here we go. This is just what we are. And then, man, that was it. So, and then
Yeah.
they just continued it. The two things Tennessee did really well that I thought was, they formation Florida to death. They run different formations and motions. What that first touchdown to Davis, which was a thing of beauty because plays before he ran up there and he blocked and sealed the edge. He faked all that and went out around like a wheel route, and then Aguilar gets in the ball, makes a man miss, touchdown on the first one. Just a beautiful play call, beautiful play design. And then they just started once they got it going, Florida had no answer. Once they had the holding penalty the first drive, that was it. That was ball game. And it was pretty loud the first couple of possessions, but scoring a couple of touchdowns does that to a stadium. It just deflates it. And you could just tell by the end of the first quarter, it's either 14-21 nothing in the first quarter, something like that.
14,
and it was and it was done. Like you just felt they were you almost felt like when it was 14-0, or at least I know I felt it when it was 21-0. I was like, this is game. They're not scoring 21 tonight. There's no way they're scoring 21.
6 quarters,
yes.
10 quarters, ain't scoring that.
Right. And like you said, Aguilar was fantastic. The running game was elite. The only hiccup I would say, or the only thing I would change is I love Deshaun Bishop. He is a local kid. I love him, but they've misused and basically wasted Star Thomas. He probably has the high ceiling of all the running backs over there, and they figured out a way to just not use him. And you've seen on there was third down 17, they just handed the ball off tackle. He breaks a couple tackles, goes, you should have got in. You should not get run down, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, just dominant. It was great to see. I was hoping Heupel would put up 50 plus. I was texting people, please put up 50, up 50, and win this thing emphatically. And they put up 31 and won it emphatically. But second half, Heupel just was like, well, I'm not going to give him anything cheap. Here's an amazing stat. Second half possessions, Tennessee had 3 total possessions. Just 3. The whole second half. 30 plays, 109 yards, 9 first downs, 17 minutes and 11 seconds of time of possession. That was second half.
That's,
you can't.
Yeah,
it's
the last one's the 8.5 minute drive to end the game.
Yeah, you just held the ball.
That's how you do it. Yeah,
just took the air clean out of it, and that's it again. We all know Florida's not good. They're 3-7, 3-8 now. They're not a good football team. It wouldn't surprise me to see them lose to Florida State next week. It would not shock me in the least.
I have no idea about that game. Neither team seems to care. They're both soft as baby shit too.
Yes,
so
they are for sure. Florida really, and you could just when they were down 21-0, that was it. I said, and I've said it all year. We've said it on here 1,000 times. They are a soft football team that will quit. They quit at Kentucky, and that's just what they do. They don't make winning plays. It was time to make winning plays, and Saturday night was the result. So it was good to see him come out sharp for once, catch, have some breaks go their way. The Star Thomas run at the 1 yard line, he damn near fumbled that ball. Dude run him down and try to strip him at the end. Any other year he fumbles that through the end zone, it's Florida football.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times that's what happens. And you got a break there. It's just they finally played like they were the better team on the field against Florida that night, and they knew it. That's how
Right.
they finally played. And we've been asked,
Right.
and we've went down there a number of times with the better team, and never come figure out a way to lose it
Right.
was not an option Saturday night.
Played down to your competition. That's what, some teams do. And you kind of get sucked into those games like you're in a Tennessee that wants to get out and run and throw the ball down the field. And they did this to some degree. They just said, this is who we are. We're going to not try to, we're not going to get anyone to get in our heads and haven't won there in 20 years plus, whatever. And they come out 9 plays, 75-yard touchdown, 7 plays, 60-yard touchdown. And that same first quarter, Florida had 6 plays for minus 9 yards. And
Yeah.
that set the tone right there. If that wasn't enough, Tennessee gets the ball second quarter, 12 plays, 67 yards, touchdown. 4 plays, 46-yard touchdown. 5 plays, 13 yards, punt, and then got a field goal there late in the first half. Florida had one drive that was 9 plays, 74 yards. They ended up missing a field goal there. So, and then we already kind of said about the second half, Tennessee just had the ball 3 times. It's just each team only had the ball 3 times. Like Florida had, let's say, had 16 plays, 78. Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter. These are all who cares yards, especially that fourth quarter, 68 yards, like that meant nothing. But if you're a Tennessee fan, obviously you're happy to see them just eat that clock, just chew it up, chew it up, chew it up.
If you wasn't going to hang 50,
right. That's a demoralizing too. When you can do that, you run for 250 yards and just control the ball for that long. So.
Well, in the first half, at the time I'm watching the game, I thought, you know what? He kind of went conservative toward the end to play for the field goal instead of putting another touchdown on the board and being up 35-0 or 35-0. And then it's like you almost think, well, that's what they try to do against Alabama, and we've seen what happened at halftime for Alabama. He just throws the ball out there and miss, and then next thing you know, right? He's like, you know what? We're not playing it. We're not giving these guys any shot at all on sparking the inside the stadium at all. So we're gonna play it close to the vest. We're gonna run it, place the ball, let Gilbert kick the field goal. Let's get into the half. Worst that happens, he don't make it, and we're still up 28-0. There can't be anything that sparks them. Anything gives them any kind of momentum going into the locker room, considering they get ball second half too. So you throw a pick six. It's 28-7. They get ball second half with momentum. Now it's 28-14. Now this thing starts to come alive a little bit.
Then you start kind of wringing your hands and like, oh boy, here we go again.
Here we go. Oh my God, and all that starts to creep in, and they just was not having any of it.
Yeah, I think that's the way. As much as you'd like to see, a touchdown there, you're right. Like getting points, taking care of the ball was way more important than going for the throat, which I'm always a fan of, but sometimes it's just appropriate to kick a field goal and put that thing way away anyway.
And it's really easy to want to hang 50 and score touchdowns every time when I'm in my recliner in my living room in East Tennessee sipping on bourbon with no repercussions at all.
He didn't call the touchdown play at all the second half. That says bullshit. Nope. I think.
Yeah. So
if I'm Danny White, I'm having a conversation with him on Monday morning about we'll not run that score up. Certainly, there's nothing in his contract that has anything about running the score up on beating Florida. So, what a great one! I mean, much more you could say. Tennessee dominated from the start, from the kickoff, and Florida had no answers or anything, and then they just didn't even care to answer it.
No, then they quit, which is what they do. So it'll be interesting to see who they hire. Whoever they bring in. We'll talk about Kiffin. I guess we'll talk about Kiffin at the end of the show tonight. I got some quick hits there. I want to get your opinion on things, but whoever takes that job has got a monstrous chore ahead of them to try to bring this team's mentality back to winning football. Yeah. It's an uphill battle because once that sets in, it's really hard. I mean, as a Tennessee fan, I've seen it for years going through Dooley and Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt. It was just losing mentality football. And so the next Florida coach has the work cut out for him on changing that culture inside the locker room because those kids set in with those kids. Yeah,
that culture is toxic. At best, they're just, I mean, I don't know how to say it. They're soft. Like they just don't have fight in them. I know it's when you lose your coach, it's difficult too. And he was on the hot seat for the last, year and a half before he even got canned, a month or so ago. I get it, but like they put up a fight against Georgia and a bit of a fight against I can't remember this game they played, but
Ole
like
Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah, Ole Miss. There
Yeah.
you go. But otherwise, they just like want to be there.
If I was a Florida fan watching both those games, even though they did, like you said, they put up a fight and it was one score games. You just never felt like Florida was going to win those games.
No,
even though they were close, you're
not.
like, they're not going to win, right? That's what you think. They're not going to
exactly.
win.
They would have had to have some sort of miraculous fumble, scoop, score 2 times in a row. That's not going to happen. Georgia's too good of a football program with an incredibly good culture to allow something like that to happen. Like that's just, yeah, they could have again played several quarters in Florida, but it's never taken the lead, short of Georgia just handing the ball to them.
That would have been the only way. Yeah, the other team would have had to gift them that win. The other team would have had to win it for them. They weren't going to win it themselves.
Yes, right. Give them a bunch of safeties or something.
One last thing about Joey touchdowns, and we'll move on from this so I can get rid of this jacket. I'm roasting in this damn jacket. I'm telling you, it is so thick, dude. It is so thick. It's like it's basically a rug, right? I mean, that's what it is.
It is. It's like,
right, yeah. It's like shag carpet on top of me. It holds in all the heat. One last thing though about Joey touchdowns, he's the 5th UT player ever all time to throw for 3,000 yards in a season. So, hats off. That's good company.
Good, very good company. Who are some other names in there? T. Martin
Peyton
in there?
Dunnett, of course.
Peyton, of course, yeah.
Heath Schuler, I think, done it.
Heath Schuler, sure.
And you probably go back a little bit farther than that. I don't think Casey Clausen done it. He might have, but I don't think he did. Tyler Bray might have done it. I'd have to go back and look.
Sure. Yeah, rare company though. All right, well, Tennessee exercises the demons. Monkey's off his back. It took, what'd you say, 18 different starting quarterbacks in the last 20 plus years, and Joey Swags was the guy to do it, and as was Josh Heupel. So that's enough to get a statue out front, I think, isn't it? Or at least
I think it should
get it. Put out pre-order.
Three quarterbacks all time have won in the swamp for the University of Tennessee. Casey Clausen 01-03, Joey touchdowns this year, of course, and then a guy by the name of Phil Pierce in 1971.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. Yeah. And so that the good part about it is that, well, for you at least, Florida fans have to just let it eat them. Like their season's bad enough, then they get trounced by one of their best, one of their rivals. Now they can't do anything about it for 4 years because they don't play again.
Right. Until 29.
So you have to just let it stew for 4 years. Was that 1,300 days or something like that?
I hope they think about it every night before they go to bed and every morning when they wake up.
Right. Absolutely. Well, some of them will. All right. Well, the rest of the games were, okay. A lot of SEC teams playing Samford and Charlotte, Eastern Illinois. So not much to talk about there. Ohio State handles Rutgers. Only thing notable about that, as we talked about before, is Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith did not play. Ryan Day's still sort of coy about if they're going to play this weekend against Michigan. I would gather that at least one of them and probably both of them do play.
Gotta play,
but
right?
They did look when they're walking around. It's so hard to tell, right? And I'm just armchair, doctor quarterback here. They look kind of stiff, like they weren't comfortable, and maybe that's just my imagination or what. But we'll see. I think Smith will play for sure, and probably Tate. But I mean, if it's going to be one of the two, I know Smith is going to give it a go, right? I mean, he had the "we ain't going to get beat by Michigan" kind of quote, sort of paraphrasing there, and so he's the kind of guy that's not going to. He's a dog. I think he'll probably play.
What's that? What's the line on that game? What did it come out?
It came out at 11.5. Ohio State 11.5. Now it's down to 10 or 10.5. I think it is. I've looked a little bit. So
golly, that would suggest
that's a big
play.
Number.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's what I thought too. If that's not them playing, then good grief.
Right.
Is Bryce Underwood going to Disney World instead of playing this weekend or what? That's a big number.
Especially a team that's lost 4 years in a row.
Right, exactly. USC travels to Oregon with their playoff hopes still active. Of course, Oregon's still sitting there with just the one loss to Indiana back in October. And USC is going to USC. They played better than they have on the road, but they still gave up 42 points, 28 in the first half, and just had no answer for Oregon. And Oregon's starting to get healthy, and that's scary for the rest of the country. They had a little lull there at that Indiana game. They're like, they're kind of mortal, but they're down to their 6th wide receiver or whatever. And now that they got the running game going, they're getting guys back healthy. They're as dangerous as anyone. Their defense is not as stout as Ohio State's, of course, but they could be just as explosive as Ohio State. They don't have a guy like Cornell Taylor Smith, but Moore ain't so too far off, right? I mean,
McClellan's good
some
too.
athletes out there. Yeah, exactly. So USC, better luck next year, I guess, right? I mean, they finished with UCLA, so they'll end up with a 9-3 record and 7-2 in the Big Ten. That's a step in the right direction for USC. But USC fans don't want to hear that, right?
and with USC, and yeah, I mean, Oregon was great. I mean, USC's lost 4 straight now in Eugene, which I didn't realize till I seen that stat. I was like, man, they've not won there since 2011. That's
a long time ago.
That's a proud program to lose that many times. But yeah, they were good. They both were pretty good on third down. 7-16 for USC. Oregon was 7 of 12. So they both moved the football. That's why there was some good thing we took the over in this, right? We both did.
Exactly. Right.
But USC's and we talked about on the show is I believe when whatever happens as far as if both teams are 9-3, Tennessee and Michigan are destined to stand across each other on the field at each sideline in Orlando. I just think that's how this works out. USC could throw a big monkey wrench into that. They really could at 9-3.
Absolutely. Absolutely good. Yeah.
There'll be a draw as well. So it could be USC stand over and not Michigan. I hope not, but they could.
Right.
So
they'll have the head-to-head Michigan too, so if they take that into consideration. Miami it's 2 picks. They just couldn't run the ball. USC only 52 yards on 28 carries. King Miller ran for 2 yards a carry. They couldn't do anything. Through the ball, Lane played pretty well. Jacoby Lane and Lemon was 7 catches, 34 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, because he's a freak. But they just couldn't. They couldn't keep up with that pace, which is weird. I wouldn't have thought USC would say that. But if you're an SC fan, you're getting tired of this. Defense giving up 40. Can't quite compete. But he's not on the hot seat necessarily. I don't think, but because they're recruiting right now, they have the #1 recruiting class in the country. So they're improving year to year with the record, and the recruiting's going up a notch too. So they're stuck with him for a while anyway because that contract.
Yep. But, and there's plenty of money in Southern California.
Right. So they're in the right track. They just have to compete with, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon. I mean, it's Indiana, of course, too. It's kind of forget about them sometimes because it's just unnatural. So it's a far cry from when they were in the Pac-10 or 12 or whatever, Pac-8, whatever it was, when they're beating up on UCLA and Stanford and teams like that.
Cal, Washington State.
Exactly. Right, Oregon State, like all the teams except for maybe Oregon and Washington. Occasional, like UCLA hasn't been relevant since the 90s, right? I mean, they had a few good teams in there, the mid 90s, maybe a average okay team within the last 20 years, but they're primarily they don't care enough to put money towards it. They're a basketball school, barely. Right. Although I guess there's push west, I'm not sure what the term would be, to start using SoFi Stadium next year instead of the Rose Bowl. And that would be because they can get there easier than the 45-minute drive out to Pasadena from campus.
Yeah, if you also think the Rose Bowl looks empty.
Well,
oh boy.
And that one, I don't know how many SoFi holds, maybe 70,000, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but Yes, 100,000. You could put like tarps over 3/4 of that football stadium, or just put a
That's what
bunch
I,
of cardboard cutouts.
that's what I was going to say is you either put the cardboard cutouts like they did during COVID in the upper deck, or just close the upper deck altogether. Just
That would look
close it down,
better.
use the lower bowl
Tell,
only.
and tell Fox and NBC and CBS to don't point the camera too high. Just keep it low.
No drone
Just to be
footage
sure.
at all.
No, geez, a drone. That's ridiculous. Not even gonna get the old camera above the quarterback on the cables. That's pushing it there. As long as the camera stays straight down
Yep.
all the time, just like this. So that'd be a way to do it. So Oregon moves on. They're destined to be in the playoff, of course, with a little help from Michigan. They could be in the Big Ten title game. Michigan would happen to beat Ohio State. Oregon to go into the Big Ten title game because of the tiebreaker. Michigan, if they beat Ohio State, they would need Washington to beat Oregon to be able to get to the Big Ten title game, which I know we've talked about it, and I'm sure coaches talked about it. We're okay if we don't go in the title game.
That's what I was going to say.
We'll get
Yep,
healthy.
you nailed it.
We'll do some scrimmages. It's fine.
Yep,
But
you nailed it. Yep.
you can see how well that worked out for Oregon last year.
Yeah, right.
Get throttled in the Rose Bowl.
You would 10 times after last year, right? You would 10 times rather skip that Big Ten championship and have a chance, and because it doesn't guarantee you a bye anymore. So that's the big thing.
Right.
You could win that game now. That doesn't guarantee a bye. You may still have to win that game and then turn right around and play a week earlier and still host, which they're likely going to maybe host anyway in Eugene, which will be that place will be lit for a playoff game. Get a home playoff game and then get that week off. That's the route if you're a coach.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So Oregon fans are hoping to see Ohio State win, of course. I'm sure, just for their chance to get a break. I mean, it's still important to hang a banner for Big Ten title or SEC title, but the big picture is it's not the same. It's never going to be the same as it was, 2 years ago when there was just 4 playoff teams. Now there's a dozen, going to be 16, and from then on, it's just going to be different. And I don't know how you recapture that magic of title games for these major conferences, but I don't know if it goes away or not. But if we're already talking after a couple of years that we don't even want to be in the title game, can you imagine saying that? I'd rather see not Tennessee play in Atlanta for SEC title.
I never thought I would say that.
No, nope. Absolutely not.
No,
so if I told you that 15 years ago, you'd be like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is the most important thing,
Well, I mean, I've been to 2 or 3 title games down there, and they were all awesome. Like they were cool, and lost all of them, but I mean, it was a fun experience. But I like you said, looking so forward to going down there and going that game. Had so much fun. Now, if you're in the playoff, I don't know if I would go. I mean, I would much rather go to a playoff game.
Absolutely.
In Knoxville or travel like last year. I'd much rather travel to Ohio State to watch, even though knowing what would happen in hindsight, but still, that's a more fun trip in a playoff game than going to Atlanta the week before, or the month prior, or whatever it is. So, yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know what they could do to bring that magic back. They won't get rid of it because there's too much dinero involved. But,
exactly right. Yeah, right.
But man, I don't know. I don't know how you make them mean anything anymore.
Yeah. Beats me. Dr. Pepper's got too much money involved in the Big 12, whatever. So you gotta figure that contract out somehow. All right, next game, Mizzou travels to Oklahoma. Oklahoma takes care of business, 17-6. Prbula did play, but Mizzou's faded quite quickly here in the last few weeks, and also Oklahoma's a damn good football team. They're 2 losses to Texas and. I'm blanking another one.
Ole Miss.
Georgia. Ole Miss, yeah, of course. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss beat them home.
That's right. So they look a little sluggish, really. I mean, but that's kind of who they are. They're not exactly an incredibly explosive offense. They take care of the ball pretty well. Mateer could make plays. Up 14-6 at halftime and just kind of coasted 17-6. That defense is just smothering Missouri. They had no chance to do anything, and that kind of bore out that whole game, but especially that second half. They put up a couple goose eggs. Mateer 14 of 30, 2 touchdowns. Not exactly wonderful numbers, but he had those. It's like 60 yards rushing. The sort of sneaky yards in there that you don't think about. they barely run for 3 yards, well, 3 yards a carry, Oklahoma, but they shut down Hardy, 17 carries, 57 yards, long at 20. So I take out that long ones, 16 carries for 37 yards. If you told Brent Venables that before the game, you're going to hold Hardy to 57 yards rushing, he'd be like, "Yep, we're going to win this game then, every day, all day." Forced 2 interceptions by Prebula. Just this was bound to happen. I don't remember what the over/under was, but I hope we took the under because this certainly seemed like that would have been a smart move,
Yeah,
obviously in hindsight. But
we went 3-0 in this game, brother. Yeah, we took the under, we took OU straight up, and we took them to cover. All 3 hit.
okay,
Hey,
all right,
our betting picks this week were legit. I'll tell you at the end.
okay,
Yeah,
all right. We'll tell
yeah,
them. All right.
we had a good weekend.
Anything else about this game? Not much more to say about it, right? I don't have anything more.
They are. Prebula was. I didn't realize he was going to play till I was watching the first of the game, and he was out there warming up. It was announced. I'm like, oh, okay. But then you think, well, dude ain't played in, a month or however long it's been.
Weeks or
right? Weeks.
Yep.
So you know he's not going to look like he looked before. He's not going to be the Alabama Bo Prebula. He's not going to be that guy.
No.
And so you just knew. And I'm surprised they didn't. Well, they couldn't move the ball. He had 2 interceptions. They couldn't move the ball very well. I'm surprised they didn't go to Zollers a little bit to try to maybe spark something or get something going. But
right.
I'm guessing Prebula was out there because he could run around a little bit, much better than Zollers can.
Right.
And so and they knew they were going to need that. But Oklahoma, man, like you said, that defense just kind of wears you down, and they make just enough plays on offense, and opportunistically will get a touchdown off of a turnover or just something. Just their field goal kicker is elite, and even in his Daisy Dukes, he's out there kicking it,
getting shorter,
man, right? And so they're just a good, solid football team. They're what Brent Venables wants them to be. Smothering defense and play just, not to lose offense. And and while that's fine right now, and that's going to win the games they're going to play against, that I don't think they're long for and we'll talk about it. Well, depending on what the draw they give, but they're not long for the playoff. Yeah. A team like Ole Miss that already beat them at home will be their undoing, because you got, with all the good offenses out there, you just can't play this type of football and win a national championship. No. You just can't. You can win a lot of games. You can make the playoff.
Right.
They're Tennessee last year, is what they are. Good, great defense, play really good defense. Offense is meh, okay. Well, that's going to get you in trouble. So we'll see.
Right. Eventually, that does catch up to you.
Absolutely. Both teams were a combined 9 of 31 on third down. That's what kind of football game it was.
We're sitting explaining a lot there. Right. All right. Notre Dame continues its winning ways. After losing the first 2, they won 9 straight, 6-1 at home. The one lost at home was to A&M. The other lost to Miami the first game of the year. I know Syracuse is terrible, but it's hard to argue. Notre Dame's like completely different team from, September 1st, August 30th, when the game was. It all just becomes like they're going to end up 10-2. Who else is going to be 10-2? Are they going to beat it? Are they going to get in over 10-2 Michigan? I don't know. Are they getting over 10-2? Pick someone else, right? I mean, probably
they'll
not.
They'll get in,
right? But there's a 9-3 Texas. Are they in over? If they beat A&M somehow, are they in over? I mean, if they, of course, if Ohio State wins, Michigan's out of the discussion anyway. But I just feels like Notre Dame's destined to be in, right? They're putting up style points. They've shown that they're a better team than they were.
Notre Dame would be in. The teams I have to worry about Notre Dame at 10-2 are the teams like if Vanderbilt goes 10-2.
Sure.
And it comes down to them and Vanderbilt. They're going to put Notre Dame in over Vanderbilt. That's just what's up.
Sure.
Sorry, Vandy fans. You win Saturday, which I don't think will happen, but if you do,
no,
you will not be in. Notre Dame will be in the playoff at 10-2.
Yes.
Just right. It's a foregone conclusion.
They travel better.
Yeah, right. It's Notre Dame. I said this during the solo show. They bring eyeballs. People will tune in to watch Notre Dame, win or lose. They want to tune in to watch them, and they will just be in. So teams like Vanderbilt, if Miami is 10-2, but they don't win the ACC. Well, no, Miami beat them. So that would be
So
interesting.
that's so there's like these small little
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting. I'm sure these things, like I said, can't take care of themselves, but we're in the last week of the season here. Something's gonna have to give.
Did
You know?
that Notre Dame game? That was 21-0 for Notre Dame even possessed the football.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because they had let me see,
Yeah.
they have a pick six. They have
Yep.
two of them in there. I forget. I remember
They
looking
had
at
two pick
the
sixes, and it
highlights.
was like a punt
Sixes.
block, and they scored it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty good. 21-0 for your offense touching the ball. You know you're destined to just. That's going to be a long, 3.5 quarters. If you're
Yeah.
Syracuse, and Notre Dame didn't let up either, put up a 70
Nope.
burger. They just
Jeremiah
did not
Love,
care.
dude.
Jeremiah Love, just talk about good running back. He'll be in New York. Injury or just a real dud game, and someone else picks up big time. But he's legit. I don't know if he's favorite to win it, but you can make that case. Um, Notre Dame player win the Heisman. That's
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Shocker. Yeah, that's nuts.
That's crazy. All right, that happened for a minute, but Alabama takes care of Eastern Illinois. Nice work. BYU. I know we missed this one. I picked Cincinnati to win that straight up. You picked BYU to win. I don't know if you've been picking the cover or not.
No, I picked Cincinnati
BYU ten
too.
and one. Oh, did
I
you?
picked
I thought you
Cincinnati.
picked
Yeah.
BYU. Okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
went one
Yeah,
in
so
this game. You
we're
went
going for
one and
upset.
two. You went 1-2, and I was 0-3. This is not one of our good games.
Right, okay. Right, no, right. I assume the under hit percent 40.
That
Was
was the
probably my
one
other.
that's why you're 1-2.
I'd say,
You took the under.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So BYU takes care of business there. You know, they're a team that's just they're probably not going to move a hell of a lot, right, from where they're at, even with the win next weekend. So I don't know, what they can do better. I mean, they're a good football team, but are they this year's Boise State? They're probably a little better football team, but they're kind of that realm. Like, well, you guys haven't played out west all year. Who have you played? Well, you played Texas Tech and you played Utah and you won that game. So maybe it's not a fair comparison. But what happens if Utah goes 10-2?
Right.
BYU's 10-2. I mean,
And
they're
Tulane.
only a spot behind. It's in Tulane, right? Exactly. So I kind of hope it all happens just for spite and just to
The
see
chaos.
all these old guys wearing suits and wigs trying to figure out who we're going to put in here and not get our houses egged.
All that does is
Miami
make
beats up. Yeah,
all that does is make the argument for the 16 team. All that does is
it
solidify
does.
why we need 16
Right.
when that happens.
Right. Absolutely. Vanderbilt just murders Kentucky 45-17. Not much to talk about there. Pavia played well again. Pitt, Georgia Tech. Pitt, Georgia Tech. Now that's one I didn't. I know I'm not 3-0 on that one because I'm pretty sure I picked Tech. Now I don't remember what the spread was. I gather the over hit easily. Imagine the
Yeah,
over
that
was
was
70.
yeah. You went 1-2. That was your one. The
Okay.
over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't understand. Like I clearly overrated Georgia Tech because they've been hanging on by a thread for weeks now. And they were sitting there at 9-1, and that's an okay Pitt team. They're not great. They're 8-3, right? They got murdered by Notre Dame last week, the week before. So I Georgia Tech is sort of like just another ACC team that's just like, man, you're fine, right? Like you're a nice program right now. Hell, you're better than Clemson right now, for example, better than Florida State. You're roughly even with Miami, I guess. Virginia, like it's like a throwaway conference right now because there's just no one that anyone's scared of in that whole conference, right? I mean, 6-10 weeks ago, whatever, we were like Miami is maybe the best team in the country. Well, that kind of proved out to be wrong. I mean, they made up 10-2, Miami, but they certainly saw a lot of flaws.
That's
So, I think that sort of does it for Tech there, I gather. But
That's Miami is the ACC's best hope as far as making noise in
Yeah,
the playoff. They got the highest ceiling of all. I think if Miami and Georgia Tech played next Saturday, I think Miami beats them by 30. Georgia
yeah, I
Tech
would
is
agree.
is fading. We talked about it last week. You can't play football like they play, which is getting way down big and then coming back every week. That don't fly
Right.
every week. Even in the ACC,
Mm-mm.
it don't fly. And
Even with a
so,
really good quarterback
yeah,
that they in King. I mean, he's a good
you
quarterback.
just
Like
can't
it's
keep
just
doing
you
it over
can't
and
continue
over.
to do
Right,
that. Right.
right.
Right. It
And
can't be perfect.
but yeah, that was you would have 1 and 2 in that one. I was 2 and 1. I took the under like a dummy, but
Okay.
um,
All right. Texas just hammers Arkansas. Arch has touchdowns running, throwing, receiving, I believe. You know, Arkansas is a really poor football program right now, but Texas did what they needed to do. They're, set up to play A&M in College Station for, I don't know. I mean, probably not, but
ain't
with a
that
lot of
good?
help, they could sit there like we could be in the playoffs. We just beat a really good team. We beat, like we
Isn't that
hung
in
with
Austin?
Ohio State. Oh, is it? I was thinking
I think it
maybe I'm
is.
wrong.
I think that it
Oh, well,
is
then that changes the calculus.
a little.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is in
Uh,
Austin. Okay, so okay. Their losses. The loss to Florida was the bad one for.
right. Yeah, it
They just
was.
could not have lost that. Like, you can lose to Georgia, you can lose to Ohio State, and be like, happy with yourself. Lost to a Florida team that's what 3-8 now. It's just that's tough. Even if you beat A&M, that third loss, at least now, is what keeps you from being in the playoffs oftentimes. So
Yeah, I think they're destined for 8 and
looks like
4.
it's going to be the. Yeah, I tend to agree. Yep. Michigan travels to Maryland. So-called trap game before the big game, the Ohio State game this weekend. We'll talk about that in a day or two. Um, Michigan takes care of business. It came out and they gave up a touchdown to start the game on defense, and then he rattled off 45. They won 45 to, well, really 13, because that last touchdown was just some of those kids that I knew was on the field for Michigan on defense.
If you didn't know who they were, that
I
they
know
were
the
down
roster,
depth
but
chart
yeah,
a bit. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, who's this walk on? He's right. All right, good for him. He got to play. They looked good. Underwood was excellent again. He had one bad throw where he just misread read option, but I was happy because they did a lot of read option against Northwestern. And he had a couple bad throws, right? A couple bad picks, but you get better by playing football. You get better by repping those things. So they didn't do as many this game against Maryland, but they did some to kind of like just do the reps, right? You got to learn, is that linebacker sinking? What are they doing? What's the defensive end doing? Like all those things that especially when you're 18 years old and the world's still flying at you fast, you need those reps to kind of understand that, especially when you're going to go up against the best
I say,
defense in the country here in
yeah.
5 days. So, so there's that. But so they took care of business. I thought they played well on both sides of the ball. Other than that first drive on defense, they were optimistic, took care of the ball, no turnovers. That's all you can ask for week before Ohio State. You want to just get out there with a win and
Right.
healthy, and they were able to do that comfortably. And Underwood didn't even play the fourth quarter, so that's what you wanted to do. And they did it without, of course, Haynes is out for the year. Jordan Marshall, he was active, but they said, well, we're fine. We don't need to. Maryland's a terrible run defense, so there's that. So Michigan's running back is a third stringer walk-on kid. Kozdal went for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he ran pretty well. I mean, it is Maryland's defense, but he's got a little burst in him. He got a little wiggle. He runs pretty upright. He's broke a couple tackles, so he'll probably have to get some carries this weekend again because Marshall will play, but he can't carry the ball 50 times. And that's how
No,
many times Michigan ran the ball by the way.
it sucks,
50
man. If
times.
you're for Michigan, dude, you lose Haynes. And we'll talk about it in a day or two, and we'll get into it deeper. But just foreshadowing a little bit, yeah, you just hate that kid missing this game. I mean, he came up there probably
Yeah,
looking forward to that end of the year game, to being part of the game, and you just
right.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer for him, and I mean he was on his way to being in New York for Heisman too. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has 850 yards. That he played in weeks. Like and he had several big 75 plus yard runs, and I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but he was up on near double digits. They were killing it, and
Him and Marshall's a
Michigan ran
heck
the
of a
ball
1-2
50
punch.
times.
Heck of a
Absolutely, they are.
1-2 punch.
They're absolutely right. So we'll get to that game, but yeah, here's a result that I didn't see coming. Wisconsin 27, the
Man.
Fighting Illini 10. The Fighting Burt Bielemas get a 10 burger, lose in Wisconsin. I did not see that coming. I had said Wisconsin had won their last game of the year in their non-conference, and they've somehow managed to win 2 conference games. They beat Washington a couple weeks ago, and
Mm-hmm.
they beat Illinois, and those are 2 ranked teams. So the vote of confidence that Fickle got from Chris McIntosh, their AD, that matters because they've won two out of 3 games, I think, since he gave them that vote of confidence. So it was seemingly more like, we can't afford to get rid of you now, but it's energized that program enough to where they're still pretty awful on offense, really. I mean, they managed to put up 27, but that front four is, I'd say it's top 10 in the country. Like they get after it. They're big. They're athletic. I'd say actually their front seven, the way they play. And so that, you got a good front seven, you can do a lot on defense. And they held Illinois to a single touchdown on the field goal in the middle of the game. So I did not see that coming at all. And if you're an Illinois fan, you're sitting there staring at 7-4. We're playing Northwestern here this weekend, who's playing pretty good football. Northwestern is. So Illinois could go from the Indiana game, where like thinking about, where are we going to be in the playoffs, to 7-5 and playing in the Nashville Music City Bowl or whatever it's called now. So
Right.
that would be quite the disappointment for him.
You know what this game screams to me? Illinois had that game won before they ever kicked the week off the Monday prior. That's what it seems. How many times have we talked about this? Over at
Yeah.
just nauseum. That is just, you have to prepare the whole week and be good on Saturday. You don't just get to the game and then be good. It's not the way it works. They wasn't locked in. They wasn't ready to play.
No.
And I'll bet you Brett Bielema would probably now tell you, after he's gone from Illinois, hey, what the hell happened in 2025 against a terrible Wisconsin team? You guys get run out of the stadium 27-10. He'd tell you, kids weren't ready to play. We tried to get them locked in. We tried to convince them they were a good team. They wasn't buying it, and we went in there and got bit. And that's exactly what that says. There's no way that Illinois team should lose to that Wisconsin team. And they just
absolutely not
figure out a way to do it by just showing up and being
right.
as uninterested as you could possibly be to play a football game.
Well, you can see that the two things are Illinois couldn't run the ball at all.
Right.
50 yards on 29 carries. And that's Altmaier had 13 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Like, I mean, you take away that, and they had 16 carries for about 30 yards from the rest of the offense, running backs and such. So that's just awful. Whereas Wisconsin runs the ball 44 times for a little over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like Wisconsin threw the ball 15 times for 92 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. So they just did what Wisconsin does, and they kind of brutalize you a little bit, and that's kind of where they want to get back to. And I'll be damned if Illinois and Washington aren't 2 teams that they're taking the battle on the early part of the season, beatings and stuff they've taken. So good for them. So if you're a Wisconsin fan, that's showing a little signs of life here. Illinois, kind of going another direction, oddly enough, and they're going to have a new quarterback next year, so we'll see what they have to do in the portal to replace Altmaier, who's been a good, solid quarterback for the last 3 years. Like, he's
right.
not, going to win a Heisman Trophy, but he's a good quarterback, takes care of the ball, and makes some plays with his legs sometimes too. So, yeah, that was a strange one. Houston chokes away any chance they had to play in the Big Ten title, or Big 12 title, to TCU at home, no less. that's a Houston team is sort of a mirage. Probably, they got beat up by Texas Tech earlier in the year, and it kind of showed that, and maybe they're not probably destined, not really a playoff team anyway. So maybe this is just as well that TCU takes care of them.
Right.
But I didn't see much of this game. Just some
Man, I didn't
highlights and
see a single
stats.
snap.
Did you see any of it? It's
Not not
yeah,
not a
there's not
single
much to.
one. But I think
Yeah,
this is probably good for the playoff that they're eliminated, because if they'd have snuck in,
right.
they were going to be done pretty quick. So
They get hammered. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Tulane does what they need to do. Take care of business. 37-13 over Temple. We'll continue to see how this unfolds with Tulane. Arizona State takes on the Fighting Dions and puts it to them. I
shine's worn off
don't
that one, hasn't it?
think Colorado. Well, no one even talks about that at all.
No.
Like it's not discussed. Like there's no talk about Dion. There's no talk about Colorado. It's completely worn off, and they can't afford to fire him. I don't know what they're going to do. Colorado's obviously not going to fire him this year, but they can't get going under 500 and expect that to last forever. That's just not sustainable.
Yeah. They're just not good at anything, right? If you're
No,
if you're a Colorado
absolutely.
football fan, and you're married to Dion now, so but who knows? It's NIL. It's the age where it can change
Yes.
year to year. If you're Dion, you
Right.
convince them to spend money, and you can get you a good quarterback in there and a couple good players. Next thing you know, you're 8-4, 9-3, and he's right back in the spotlight again, even at that.
Right.
So, or
Even at that.
because
Right.
he's in Big 12. You can win in that conference with just
Right.
a
You don't need
even a
Ohio State
marginal
talent to
upgrade
win there.
with roster. Yeah. Yep.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, they got Juju Lewis. The kid's, he was a top 10 quarterback coming out of high school. So they obviously got him playing. He had, 19 to 38, 161 yards, a touchdown. That looks like a freshman quarterback kind of numbers.
Right.
Uh,
Yep.
and they just don't, like you said, they don't do anything well. Arizona State, they can, they took care of what they need to do. They're sort of out of I think there's like a path for them to be in the Big 10 or Big 12 title. I don't remember what it is. They're going to need a lot of help.
Right. I would say it has to be a lot of help. Right.
Futile. Yeah. I forget what it was. It's not even worth discussing. So, all right. Well, that wraps up the games this week that I have to cover. Is there any other ones that you want to talk about, SEC games or otherwise?
The only thing that I didn't get to mention is Vanderbilt, who, we have them Saturdays, so we'll talk about that in a couple of days. But they've been playing football since 1902. First 10-win season for the University of Vanderbilt.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
that's what Diego Pavia has done for that school. So he's a winner. He's scary to be coming in here, but that's kudos to them. The first 10-win season Vanderbilt's ever had since 1902.
That's pretty cool. Now Tennessee's going to put up 50 points on them.
Yep.
They may give up 48 points, but this is
Yep.
going to be might be the explosive game of the weekend. Unless what time is that game at?
3:30 Eastern.
3:30. Okay, I
Yep.
didn't hear what the final was. Okay, 3:30. All right. I guess I guess is worth kind of commenting. LSU hangs on
Oof.
to beat Western Kentucky. I don't care if you have no coach or not. This is a team that you're way more talented than, and have no business, being in a game this close. Their eyes are everywhere but the football field
Yes.
right now. Their eyes are like trying to get Kiffin's contract ironed out. I'm sure the locker room's quite aware of that. You can have your favorite interim coach that's been there for a long time. They love him, whatever, but it's still distraction. These kids, they watch, Sports Center. They hear all this stuff. They read. They're not stupid. They see Twitter or whatever. So it doesn't matter because LSU's not going or doing anything. But good grief, can you be more obvious that you're not even trying to compete with anyone right now?
Those kids are making business decisions.
No.
That's what they're making.
Yes, clearly,
they're
right.
making business
and they
decisions.
don't they play OU to finish?
They do.
So
yes.
I don't know. how that's going to go very well for them at Oklahoma. Jesus, that's
Is it? No, is that back?
that Oklahoma's a scrimmage. I think it's
Is that in
hold on,
Oklahoma?
let me double check here.
I thought
I
that
think it's
was
in
in.
Norman. Yeah, let me see. I was wrong earlier, so there's a good chance I'm wrong here. Let's see here. At OU. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So it's a 3:30 ABC game.
Good for our home team picks.
Um, yes, exactly. Right. I'm taking the under, whatever that'd be, unless it's
Right.
25 or something, I guess.
Which it
All
could
right.
be. It
Well,
should be.
which I guess maybe that's appropriate, like a 9-6 final, something like that.
Yep.
Kind of the LSU Bama game from 10 years or so ago. Okay, well that wraps up the picks for this. I'm sorry, the review. We did our picks, which we do. What did we do? 8 games. I forget how many games we
Yeah.
did.
9.
7 or 8 games.
27 picks total.
9 games. 9 games. 9 games. 27 picks. We do
Yep.
over under, the spread, and then straight up.
We
So
do.
all right. Well, hit me with the numbers. 27. I probably went like 25-2. I think probably. No, I had at least 3. So.
Oh boy, you're close. 25-3. No, we both went 17-10 this week.
Okay. All right. 17
Just
and 10.
kind of
All right.
scanning over. We both went 3-0 with Missouri and OU. Nailed that one.
Okay.
I went 3-0 with Arkansas and Texas. We both went 3-0 with Nebraska, Penn State. We nailed that. You went 3-0 with Maryland and Michigan, so nice job.
Okay.
And there was a lot of both of us going 2-1. I only went 0-3 on a couple of games. BYU, Cincinnati, I whiffed it on, and then I was 0-3 for UT and UF, which okay,
fine,
okay,
right?
fine.
You'll lose that.
Yeah. So,
which one was I 0-3 on? Which one did I strike out completely on?
You were 0-3 on which one of it was on here? 3-0. You were 1-2, 3-0, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. You didn't go for 3 on anything.
Okay. All right.
You were 1-2. It was the worst you went, but everything else was 2-1 and 3-0 or 1-2. You didn't 0 for any of them. Nice job.
Somehow we're still 17-10.
Yes. Yeah.
17-10, right? What's that put us on the year? Have you tallied it up what we've done on the year? We've only been picking these last 6 weeks or so. But.
Yeah, for sure. And we seemed like we were 50% most of the time, and then we had a really good weekend, and we tanked the last weekend, a really good weekend. I have to go through my papers. I just toss them here below me, so I would have to go through them and see where add them all up. I probably won't because we've not been doing anything. So as far as money wise, I won't keep up with it. So you want to do some quick hits? Before we do our money
let's do that.
picks?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Oh, I got one quick hit that just came to mind a second ago.
Rock and roll.
Just sort of a hilarity thing. Nebraska got scared of Matt Rule of leaving to go to Penn State. So what does Matt Rule do? He doubles down, loses the next couple games, goes into Happy Valley and gets his shit kicked out of him just to confirm the Penn State fans are happy that they did not give him the contract. God. If you're a Nebraska fan, this is just we're in the desert. We're in the desert for 40 years, and they're never going to get out.
Okay. They're keeping Mike Norvell at FSU. That was announced for another year.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay. Yep. Well, because they can't afford it together.
Well, okay. Here, the buddy of mine at work told me that, and I'm like, and he's like, can you believe that they want to just be terrible next year? I'm like, you know what it is? It's they don't want to jump in the pool with all the high majors that are in the pool this year.
Not this year.
You give another year, his buyout drops because it drops year by year, as most of them
100%.
do. And next year, you might be the only adult at the table, being the coach, and you will spend automatically less than you would have spent this year.
100%. Because you think about it, we can just look at that quickly here, but think about it. Florida, LSU are safe. I'm just taking the big hitters. Miami's not going to get rid of, obviously, Cristobal. Dabo's not going anywhere, with a bad season. I'm just thinking other coaches that might jump or whatever. USC's not going anywhere. Michigan's not changing anything. Ohio State's clearly not going anything else. Day goes the NFL, and then you're not going to outbid Ohio State anyway. So yeah,
No.
I mean, this is probably a smart move by them financially and just long term program health for a number of reasons, probably. And I don't know that Norvell's a terrible coach, right? They just, although, they come out and beat Alabama, just shit the bed for
it's every
11
week.
weeks. It's like that. We should say it every week until I think we should stop saying it in July. How about in July we stop?
July we'll stop. July 26th. Finally quit.
College basketball, the national championship basketball game. We'll talk about. Hey, how did Florida State beat Alabama last year?
Yeah. And we still won't have an answer.
That's one of the first upsets.
No one will.
No, absolutely not. No. So, all right. Well, we got other picks to discuss.
Yep.
How many millions did we win?
No, not any.
That's right. You got more nuggets.
Yeah,
you got more nuggets.
We're quick hitting here. I got a few. The other, and I only bring this up because of how long he was in college football. One Chip Kelly. Now, has there ever been more of a roller coaster of a coaching career where he is up here with Oregon and then goes down here with who do you go to? The Eagles and then San Francisco,
Eagles,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Then goes to UCLA, stays down here, but Ohio State takes him way back up here with the national championship, and they make him the highest paid coordinator in the NFL. 11 games later, down here again. Like
fired. That's the Raiders saying that too. They put up a lot of shit. They put up a lot of bad football, and they're like, "Nah, we're all done here."
Isn't it interesting?
I wonder if he and Pete didn't. I wonder if they clashed a little bit personality-wise too.
And I could say it's two big egos. But what my question to you would be is, why doesn't the Chip Kelly coaching style, offense, whatever it is, why does it not translate to the NFL? Because there's just some coaches that translate, and there's some coaches that you would look at and be like, oh, they're going to do good, and they just don't do, for whatever reason, they don't fit the NFL. Steve Spurrier's another one. That's one example that comes right to my mind where
it's absolutely
best offensive mind in college football in the 90s, and then just tanks in the NFL. And Chip Kelly follows the same path. Yeah.
Can you find it better?
Yeah.
Not that he has a specific scheme like those two do, but it's the same kind of thing. Mike, I don't know, but my first thought is because in the NFL, everyone is ultra talented. Everyone is elite, right? I mean, some guys are maybe a little bit better, but they're all the best of the best. In college, that nickel may be a walk-on who's played a couple games. So these guys, Kelly, those guys, they can out-scheme a lot of teams in college, right? You don't have that luxury in the NFL because, like I said, everyone, the three deep is all ultra talented, right? You're not gonna get the second string safety from Texas Southern as who's the starting safety at Purdue or USC or whatever. That's my best guess that they could out scheme the talent wise, because at Oregon they had a hell of a lot of talent. Obviously Ohio State, they have elite talent. So when you do that you can be better than a lot of teams because those teams out recruit for the best 5 stars, the best offensive linemen, etc. And NFL, you're even Steven with everyone else. Some guys maybe a little bit better at quarterback, like the Buffalo's got a good quarterback situation. Now New England does too, but then you have quarterback situations like Will Levis starting in Nashville. So there's just this is the differences between the two. It's the quarterback play is the only separator by and large, other than elite defensive ends, quarterback play, and probably corner. But it's just so much more even in NFL where you can't out scheme a linebacker who knows he's got you downloaded, right? He knows what that play looks like. He's seen that film. He knows what that looks like why? Because he's a professional. Because he's the best of the best. Whatever, less than 1% of the world. So I think that's my best guess. And I don't know. Some of this is cultural thing. How do you connect with the players? You can rah-rah the hell out of 18, 19-year-olds, but these guys, 29, 30, 32, 26 years old. Okay, we'll make more money than you do, and settle down there. There's not a marching band coming out here in a minute. and after a while, I wonder if that just kind of wears on teams of like, this guy's an idiot, and then they lose faith, and then you're running your routes half-ass, and it
Yeah.
just snowballs from there.
And something else adding on to the way you just said, which is that the guys that are going up against the NFL have been in the league for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whereas the most you'll
Right,
get in college, especially when Chip Kelly was in college, is 5, 6 years. Even with the COVID year and now all the stuff, now they're
right,
5, 6 at most, and they didn't play much as freshmen and sophomores. So, yeah, that's
right,
another thing. So it just doesn't translate,
100%.
and it never will for Chip Kelly. He needs to go back into college, be an
No,
offensive coordinator, and live out his days. Um,
just enjoy it. Yeah.
Next one, Dan Lanning's comments. So after the game on Saturday, he comes out and he says, "Well, we wasn't playing the University of Chattanooga like other people were." Now, Dan, okay, dude, you were in this league. I don't know why
Yeah.
do you feel the need to say something like that, and especially say something like that when your combined opponents records this year was 44 and 55. So what the hell are you doing? Like, it's okay for the Big Ten and the SEC to both be good, and they both are extremely good. They both
Yes.
have elite
Right.
teams. They both have middle of the road teams. They both have shitty teams. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
I hate the only reason the SEC plays that type of weekend, and it is because of 8-game league play. That's it. That's going
Rules.
to change when you go to 9 games like the Big Ten is. That will all go away. But that's just and
Yep.
they're just paying in-state schools. That's just and I'm not a fan of it either. I get it, but I'm not a fan of it. I hate those games,
Right.
especially late in the year. I'd much rather have a
They're
league game like we
boring.
had, Florida or Kentucky or someone like that for sure. But that's you play the teams you're dealt, and that's what you do. And when your combined opponents
Right.
records 44 and 55, Dan, you should probably find that out before you make that
And
comment.
and and you lost to the best team you played at home, Indiana.
Right.
So yeah, no, I clearly conferences just want to like they're the best. We're the best. We're the best. It's clearly like pump your own
Right.
brand up, right? And it's just not
You don't have to do it
necessary, right?
though.
And it sort of
You don't
filters
have to
into
do it.
the fans and stuff. Like it's the results of the field show you, right?
Yep.
You just beat a really great, really good USC team. That's what your focus should be on, right? What
Right.
are you even thinking about Georgia and Charlotte? That's what.
Yep.
Because you said you cut your teeth in the SEC, you know better than that. So that's why I'm like, everyone just wants to pump their own brand, and it's just noise, just nonsense. Like it's nothing but just for something for you and I talk about fans and
For sure.
bloggers and stuff. Because these guys, if he's gonna go up against Georgia, he sure as hell ain't gonna make smart ass comments like that if he has to beat them in the playoffs, for example.
No,
'Cause
and
they're liable to get
your
their ass beat.
right. Your comment should be great win over a great team. We're putting ourselves in the best position we can for the playoff. We want to try to be in this playoff. We would love to host the playoff. That's where your comment should be, on you and your team and what you're trying to accomplish. No, why just though I just
Right.
don't understand. I didn't understand it. I mean, I love Dan Lanning. I think he is an amazing
He's a great
football coach.
Absolutely.
It just and maybe that's just a young head coach that is kind of firing emotional after a big win, and just his brain says, "I tell you
Sure.
what, spew that out," and he's like, "Okay," and he just does it. So no filter.
Right.
Here's just a quick stat, and then we'll do one more. Then we'll get to our money picks. Quick stat: Arkansas. We talked about them earlier. 2-9 this year. But somehow or another, Delaney, those guys are +3 in point differential this year. But they're 2-9. Now make that math work.
How do you do that? I assume they must have won 70-0 their first non-conference
That was at the
games.
first of the year. Yeah, that's what it was. So, yeah.
Okay, because how much they give up to like just two teams, Notre Dame and Texas. They have 100 points to those two combined, yes. Damn near.
Yep, you're 2-9 and you're +3 in point differential. Well done, done, Arkansas. All right.
That's
Uh,
impressive. You
that
better you can hang a banner for that one.
yes. All right, and last one here, one Lane Kiffin. I believe, and
Okay.
it's going to be announced after Saturday. And I guess we could talk about this during our picks, but
Yep.
why not talk about it both? It's Lane Kiffin.
Right.
So
Yeah. Right now. Yeah.
I, for one, believe that he is leaving Ole Miss. And the only reason I believe that is I don't know where he's going. It's either Florida, LSU, seems like. You would just announce if he was staying, right? If he was staying, you would announce, you would put all this stuff to bed, focus just on the team and the playoff run you're getting ready to make, and be done with all the
Because
outside
you're
noise.
very distracted. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you just would announce that and go. And I think that's what Ole Miss was pushing for. And they never got it from him. And now it is, I'm leaving. And who knows where he ends up in Gainesville or Baton Rouge, one of the two, right? It's going to be one of those two schools he's picking. They're
Right.
probably in an
That's
all-out arms
gotta
race
be.
with money,
Right.
back and forth. I don't know
Right.
who his agent is, but he's getting paid. Probably Jimmy Sexton, because that's who represents
Yes.
everybody.
Most,
So
sure.
I think he's leaving Ole Miss, and I think he'll leave Ole Miss after the Egg Bowl when if they beat Mississippi State, which they probably will. And I think if you're the AD, you have to go and be like, if you're leaving, just get out. We'll have an intern coach go
Get out now.
and go and take off, because you can't have him in the playoff coaching a team he's leaving. So
Nope,
that's my
absolutely
take.
not. That's destined. I agree. At first, I think he might stick around Ole Miss, and they're going to pay him well
Me
enough
too.
to keep him around. But he's not stupid. He sees what you and I see. Ole Miss they're at their ceiling. This is it, and they don't have the horses, and they won't have the horses to compete with Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, anyone like that regularly to get to this spot. It's going to get harder to win a title, right? You got to play more games. You got to beat more good teams, right? And they, if they get in there, which it looks like they probably will, uh, yeah, they gave him an ultimatum, make a decision by Sunday or whatever it is. Just pull the trigger, right? Like do it for the kids that can, are still playing. They have a shot to, make a little noise, right?
Yeah,
They
they
can put
could
up
go
a
a long
fight at
way,
least.
depending on the
They've
draw.
shown they went to a good Oklahoma team, won there in Norman. That's tough to do, right? So it's just unfortunate because it's going to put them in a kind of a bad position. I just don't see how they would be able to really compete well and play well if you have your head coach who's just been your savior for the last few years. Now he's bolted to, I think it's going to be Gainesville. That seems like a better situation financially or not, just as a school in general. But LSU sure as hell trying. They're putting up $25 million in NIL and $90 million contracts, so it ain't gonna be for lack of effort.
No, and either one of those, I'm like you, and it's too bad for Ole Miss, because, like you said, there's only a handful of teams that they led Georgia the whole game in Athens until the very end.
Yep.
They could make a national semifinal, national championship game. I don't think they have the defense to win it. I just don't think they do, and that's what's going to win championships.
No, they
defense.
don't. Right.
It's as old as time. But man, I tell you, and one thing to look out for, and we'll talk about this a little bit in a couple of days. But in my opinion, look out for Saturday against Mississippi State. If that team is flat and Mississippi State winds up winning that game and Ole Miss looks like garbage, that will tell you right already. There he is leaving. Because I could easily see that team. Well, hell, he's bailing, because you're going to host a playoff game in Oxford. Win or lose, you're going to be in, right? 10-2 gets you in.
Right.
11-1, you're hosting in Oxford. That's a huge thing. And I just think if that team comes out with all that to play for, if they come out flat, don't look good, Mississippi State beats them, or even worse, beats them pretty good because their defense is not good.
Yeah.
That right there is writing on the wall, in my opinion. If they look like that, that will foreshadow him getting the hell out of town. And is there a coach with more drama when it comes to leaving teams that's ever been?
No.
He bolts in the middle of the night.
Left at the tarmac. Literally left at the tarmac. He got tarmacked. He used the definition of tarmacked.
Yes. Yep. You leave Tennessee in the middle of the night. You get tarmacked. You get kicked out of the Raiders. he just has
Like the
mastered the
Baltimore
art of
Colts that
leaving
left in the
with
middle
as
of the
much
night.
trauma. Yeah.
Right. But still, people want to give him $100 million contracts
And
because why?
hasn't
Because he
won
can
a
out
thing.
scheme guys like Chip Kelly can. They won shit. Right.
Won
Not
nothing.
any stop. USC,
Yeah.
Tennessee, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. NFL, nothing. But he's polarizing. He's makes for a fun program, a fun offense to watch. Um, they can out scheme guys because he's a really offensive mind, right? He's a Chip Kelly, right? He can out scheme guys. You can put guys his best athletes on your worst athlete and make him pay for it. Um, but that there's a limit to that because you're at Ole Miss. When you're at Florida or LSU, you're gonna have very little limits. Your limits will be, oh, we missed that one to LSU. We missed that kid to Tennessee or whatever. Like those your losses will be the recruiting 5-star kids, which
So for recap, yeah, it's good whenever I'm laughing, my voice gets high when we get ready to talk about it. There's getting ready to be some craziness happen. So to recap, first of the year, SEC home teams are 70% winners on their home field. Money line, straight who's going to win. So we decided to put that to the test. So I donate at this point $147 to the cause. Let's see how this plays out over the year. We were doing really good 2/3 of the way through. The last months kind of fell apart for us. So coming into this weekend, we were 43-25, winning at a 63.2% clip, which normally would be fine when it comes to gambling. But like we've said before, we have had issues with underdogs. They don't hold up their end of the bargain. That's where you make your money, is when underdogs winning. So all the favorites will do fine, but you don't win the money that offsets the underdogs losing, and that's been our problem. So we come in this weekend. We went six. Went 5-1, 6 games total. One Ole Miss, one OU over Missouri, Vandy over Kentucky, Texas over Arkansas, South Carolina over Coastal Carolina, and LSU over Western Kentucky, which was way closer than it should have been, but a win's a win. The only loss we had was Florida and Tennessee. Cash. So we started with $147. We come into the weekend with $20.26. We go 5-1. We lose 40 cents this weekend. We're now at $19.86. So we lost 40. We went 5-1 and lost 40 cents. You got to try to do that. I wish we were above 70%, because if we were above 70%, we could go this week. By the way, there's 9 games to pick this week that's eligible. I've already made the bets. If we were sitting at like 73 or 74%, I would almost hope for an 0-9 weekend, so we would have 2 cents left in the bank, which is what's in there now, and be at 70%. That would be perfect at this point. So 40 cents loss, so we are negative $127.14 going into the last weekend, 9 games. I was able to dice up $19.86, $19.84. I was able to bet on 9 games, which leaves 2 cents left in the bank. And we'll talk about it on Wednesday on what that looks like. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. We lost 40 cents and went 5-1. So that sums it up for us. Yeah. No. No, I just that $147. We would have made a lot more had I took 147 and put it in our 9 games, 3 picks a game weekend. We would have had a very good weekend. Righteous bucks, as you say. Sure. We can lose money like anybody else. I mean, we're not special when it comes to that. We are fully capable of losing money. We've proven that. We're proven winners at losing money. Yeah, we're elite. We're like the Ohio State of losing money. Now, yes, chunk plays already here. Yeah, we're still on.